Hello everyone, my name is Kat and I like books. So today I'm going to be reviewing Midnight at the Electric by Jodi Lyn Anderson. Midnight at the Electric is about three girls from very different time periods who are all connected in some way or another. It is a multi-perspective book, which I usually am not a fan of, but I actually really enjoyed it. So let's just get into it. So, one of the first things that I loved about Midnight at the Electric is how different all of the characters are. Every single girl has a completely different personality, different goals, different wants, and Jodi Lyn did a really fantastic job of showing that and giving them each such a complex character to work off of. Now, the three settings of this book are Kansas 2065, Oklahoma 1934, and England 1919. Most of the book is written in letter form, which I think is a really cool aspect of the book that I don't see very often and I think was very creative. Now on Goodreads, I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars because I absolutely loved it. I thought that the story and plot was so creative, and I just loved all of the different characters and all of their backgrounds because they were so different, and it really felt like you were in your world. Like, they would jump from one character to another, and it felt like you were being ripped out of one world and then just sucked right into another one because you forgot that there were other characters in the book while you were reading about one of them, which I think is really awesome because you got to focus in on that one girl's story. There were a lot of really fun side characters that I super enjoyed, but I'm not going to get into that right now because this is the non-spoiler edition, so if you want that, then stay till the end because, like, we can talk about it. Like, I have tippy tabs ready to go because I ran out of my fancy sticky notes, and so they're just cut up post-it notes. But you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do, so, like... Now, the three main characters that we follow throughout the book are Adri, Catherine, and Lenore. Now, Adri is from Kansas in 2065, where the world is kind of ending. They're flooding, and so they're sending people off to Mars, only the best and the brightest, so that they can, try to colonize Mars, so that we have somewhere to go. Adri is one of those special people, and she's training to go on to Mars and learning about all of this history that she finds when she stays with her great-great-great-aunt, I think. They're related distantly. And then we see Catherine, who's living in Oklahoma during 1934, which, if you don't know, was the time of the Dust Bowl. And so she lives in a farming family, and since there's the Dust Bowl going on, then the farm isn't doing great, and they're running out of money, and her sister's really sick. And so it's her trying to figure all of that out while also trying to rebuild her home and build a life for herself. And then our last character is Lenore from London in 1919, and she basically is dealing with separation from her best friend who just moved to the States, and she's also just trying to mourn the loss of her brother who died during the World War. So it's three very different ladies living very different lives, but I think it's fascinating, and Jodi Lyn wrote them so well that I loved it. So that was it for the non-spoiler part of the review. Now, if you have read the book and want to talk about it with me, or if you haven't and just don't care, then we're going to get into some spoilery parts. Let's talk about Adri, because she's a very odd character in the sense that her development goes quickly, but like unnaturally quickly. Like, it's faster than you would expect, like in real life, but it happens so naturally and as expected, and it doesn't feel forced or pushed that it's a really nice character arc that they made for her. I love the relationship between her and her cousin or aunt. I don't remember how they're related, but they're related, and I love what they build, and I love the send-off of Galapagos, the turtle. That was the saddest part of the whole book, was the send-off of Galapagos. He was... Anyways, and so then Catherine, I think, was my favorite. I think that Catherine was my favorite out of the three of them because I'm a sucker for romance. I'm a sucker for love stories, and she fell in love with the barn boy who lived in the shed, and then she had to run away from him and take care of her sister in New York. And she, I think, definitely went through the most out of any of them. I mean, when we see Lenore, her brother has just died, so I think she goes through the most in general, but, like, during the span of the book, Catherine goes through the most. And I love her. She was so strong-willed and did whatever it took, which I always appreciate in a character and even in a person. I'm sorry, I got hiccups. Oh. And then finally we get to Lenore, whose story was definitely the most interesting, because it didn't go where I thought it was gonna go. Like, she met Charlie, I want to say his name. James! Oh, his name was James. So I loved, like, the friendship between Lenore and James. I just found both of those, I found James very interesting. I don't know why, but just the fact that he lied about who he was, but, like, not really. And he was just such a kind person. It was just very interesting. He was just a very interesting character. And I loved basically every character now that I'm thinking about it. I think I loved all of them. My only wish is that they'd gone more into the actual, like, Midnight at the Electric part. Like, they really only talk about the circus for a couple of chapters fleetingly. And they only go to it twice? I believe they only go to the circus twice. And I'm pretty sure Catherine is the only one that goes. And so that was kind of disappointing because, like, it's kind of like the musical Pippin. You go in expecting it to be like, wow, circus, look at all these, like, trapeze people. But it's like, circus? And that was kind of disappointing. And the writing itself was kind of, you know, it was easy to read. It was very easy to read. It was circa Harry Potter, like, type, like, easy to read. Like, an elementary school kid could read it, but they would not grasp it as well as someone else. But it's very easy to read. I absolutely flew through it. I finished it in, I think, 2 days. It only took me longer than 1 because funny story about why I even own this book, is I thought that it was an assigned reading for my school, my summer reading project. Turns out I had just been too deep in Goodreads and mistook it for my summer reading, and so that's why these tabs are only in, like, the first 50 pages, because that's how far I got before I realized that this isn't what I was supposed to be reading. So, you know, circumstances lead you to good books. So I'm definitely not disappointed that I bought it and read it because it was really good and I liked it a lot. So yeah, those are basically all my feelings about Midnight at the Electric by Jodi Lyn Anderson. As I said before, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I really liked it. I think that y'all should check it out. If any of, I mean, it's there's futuristic, there's, like, old, there's England, so, like, you do you, but I think it fits basically everyone. So yeah. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching. If you want, we can talk about the books in the comments. I know that there are none of you there because this is my second video. My first video got 3 views, and I'm pretty sure all of them were me, just, like, checking in. But that's okay. So if you somehow find this in the depths of BookTube, then let me know, and we can talk about it. Okay, yeah, bye.